Welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us at this nice dissemination event of our RELICA project, which is the final event, online event of a very nice and very fruitful collaboration between 6 partners from different European countries, as you will see. And just before starting our sessions, as I already mentioned it, we will work with this interactive presentation, which I already shared several times on the chat, and let's share it another time. We will use this for the overall process, the overall event. This interactive platform or the interactive presentation will help you to follow the presentation in an individual way and in an interactive way. So you will have sometimes questions where you need to answer, or you need to select answers, or there are little mini games that you can do and you can follow. Every time, of course, you will get some instructions on how to do this. You can also navigate in this presentation, as you can see it if you have already downloaded it, with the help of the arrows. But as it will be always shared on the shared screen, you can also get back to the Zoom and follow it on the Zoom. And of course, this presentation will be sent to you, and you will be able also to use it later and to go deeper into the different parts. In some slides, you will see icons where if you click on, you will get more information. You can get deeper into the information. So that's also maybe something that you can explore better after the overall event. We will also use the Zoom chat. If you have any questions or comments or issues during the overall event, please don't hesitate to put these on the chat. You can also do it in different languages, at least in the project languages, so in Italian, in Polish, in French, German, Hungarian, or Greek, and our partners and our team members will answer you to the questions. And yeah, of course, these are every comment, every question are more than welcome. If you have already any questions, please just raise your hand or put your comment into the chat. And if all is fine now, I will give the floor to Kata to start presenting the first part of our event.
Yes. Hello, welcome everybody. I'm very happy that you are so many today. Sorry, I had just to stop sharing my screen to put the audio on. So if you manage to get into this interactive presentation, now we go to the page 2. Before beginning the interactive part, we would like to know a little bit more about you, if it's possible. So you will just have to answer to 2 short questions, very quick one. We would like to know a bit more about your profile. So here you just have to write if you're a student, an educator, an artist, or anything else. And then once you click on the send button, we will see your answers appearing on the right. You will see all of you, but I always also show you on my screen your answers. So let's do it together. We have a couple of seconds. as far as I can see, most of you are educators. We have language teachers, visual artists, but also students. Very nice. Okay, let's go to the next question, because it's interesting to know if you are currently learning any new language and which one is it, if you do. Please, again, if you have any issues with the platform, do not hesitate to ask questions in the chat. You know, this is interesting for us because RELICA was treating 6 different languages, as you saw at the beginning of the project, or the presentation. So it's Polish, Italian, Hungarian, French, German, did I forget, and Greek. And of course, you will see all the games and all the results we also have in English. So now we have 28 responses. Let's see. Oh, you have Italian, so it's good. Portuguese, unfortunately, we don't have in this one. Italian we have, and Greek we have too, and German. Okay, so before beginning the interactive games, I wanted to tell you a couple of words about what RELICA is, just not to get into this unknown something without any information. So RELICA is an approach that we developed for 3 years together with 6 organizations within Europe. You see, it's a method in which we design activities to teach languages through art and gamification, and to develop creativity alongside with language skills. Firstly, all the methods that we created were designed for people with refugee and migrant background and with relatively low language skills. But most of the activities can be adapted for 2 other target groups as well. RELICA is also a collection of resources. We will get into the details later on. But you have handbooks, 2 handbooks with methods. You have video tutorials. You have activity descriptions, many examples of the activities that we implemented during the project, and of course the interactive games that we will test during this event. Last but not least, it has been also a collaborative project. We are arriving to the end, so it lasted 3 years, and during these 3 years we had many common activities, local workshops, testing, piloting workshops, but we had several co-designing workshops together as well in our respective countries. So here in this slide, we are on the slide 5. Here you can see the main needs and challenges that we identified during the first phase of the project. And here are the main elements. You have 12 main elements that were identified to respond to these needs. I will not go into the details, as Christina told you, that after presentation will be shared with you, and you can explore it more in detail, the whole methodology. But just to give you an example, so what we identified that this specific target group needed to develop other transversal skills as well, alongside with language skills. So basically, here are the main soft skills that the activities that we co-designed can develop. And you have further explanation by clicking on the small icons next to every element. So RELICA, as I told you, it's also an approach. And instead of regarding language in a unique way, so we thought that it would be more interesting to approach it in different ways to answer to different needs. So it's also approached as a sign of a system sign, as a playground, because we play much with language. It's a way to explore each other and cultures. Of course, it's a tool for social interaction, as it's a tool for creation and to value oneself and tell one's story. So each activity, you will see they are designed around these approaches. And at the end, you can also discover more in details the skills that we address through art and the skills which through art-based teaching can be particularly efficient. So we arrived to the interactive part. I give the floor to Christina to introduce the part.
Thank you. First, a question. Do you have any questions, issues so far? Someone wants to intervene? If not, by at least not right now, we are going to the second stage of this event, where we will think a little bit about why we use art for language teaching. What are the reasons? And for this, we will use minigame-like activities. So in the first part, you will have to put together words with a little help, maybe. In each time, you will have 30 seconds or 1 minute. There will be a bing to tell that it's over. And then, of course, you can share, or we will also see the results on the right side of the screen. So the first part will be putting together words with letters, and in the second part, the task will be to select the right answer. So let's see the first one. So here, the question is, what do we do through art?
Yeah.
You can drag the letters into the circles, and Kata will give you a little help because the first one is E. So you have still a couple of seconds to do this. And the Bing shouted. Anybody has some ideas? Did you manage to find the word? Here it is. So you can explore through art. What is the second activity?
And also rely on the small icon.
Sorry? Did you want to say something? Okay. Okay, so here there was the second one, and we already have passed. Exactly. So the second is you can play, which is playing is and gaming is also a very nice way of teaching language. And finally, the third thing what we can do through art, and that's maybe the most important or interesting and evident activity that we can achieve, Which one would be the first letter? C. This is over the time. And bingo, you can create. So Kata will explain you why these three.
Yes, so this was something taken from, basically this was one of the exercises of the interactive games as well that you can explore later on. So we tried to find this amusing way to play with letters and sounds in order to make this process of learning more funny and interactive. So the method is, you see, it's circular. The meanwhile we explore, while we play with creation. We play while creating based on what we explored. So playing, it becomes a way to practice what we learned. And creation is also a mean to explore and to play. So basically we create one thing of these three processes. Okay, here it becomes interactive again. So you have 30 seconds to answer the questions. They are not really questions, there's a sentence and you have to finish it. So, helping learners discover language through different forms of art. What's the second part of the sentence? Means learning art instead of learning languages. It reduces cultural differences and makes learners think in the same way. It was a bit short at the time. And it values the diversity of their cultures, sorry. So please click on, make a choice, click on it, and we will see your answers. Or you will see also others' answers on the right. I wait 1 second to let you. Here we have many answers. Unfortunately, I can't really see what your answer was, but basically it means that most of you gave the good answer, I suppose. So it was valuing the diversity of their cultures. Because we use, while we explore languages through art, as you can see also on the illustration, we try to find resources coming from different cultures. So it's not only about Europe or the country's language of which you learn the language. Let's go to the next slide. It's slide 14. So the exercise is the same. Please finish the sentence. Why do we practice through games? Is it a way to train learners to become more competitive? Is it good to encourage them? Okay, to encourage learners not to take learning seriously? Or it's a way to make repetition less boring and also develop social skills? Okay, again, many of you answered. I suppose that most of you chose that repetition is less boring and it's good to develop social skills. Of course, learning it's still serious, and we don't want to make learners more competitive, but it's a good way to repeat in a funny way, and it's also nice way to create connections between learners. The last interactive question of this part of the presentation. So why do we create? The objective of creating with learners is to improve their self-confidence and motivation to use what they have learned in practice, or to make learners express themselves through art instead of talking or writing, or discover who is the most talented person among your learners. A little bit more time. Oh, I made a bad answer. I click on discover who is the most talented, but of course this is not the aim. The aim is to improve self-confidence and give motivation. Because if you add some creative activities into the learning process, usually you can use immediately the results, or the learning results in a nice and creative way that can enhance self-confidence and can keep learners motivated too. Okay, we arrived to the slide of 16. So I give back the floor to Christina to explain.
Yeah, thank you. So now we have the most interactive part. This is one of the most important results of RELICA, the online interactive activities, which were the results or the one coming out from the activities of the project. And we will kindly ask you to test or try out these mini games, which you can, as you see, they are in all the project languages, so they can be available in 7 languages. And the task will be that you click on any of the language you would like to use for the testing, and you get into these games and try out them. You don't have to finish them, you just start them and maybe test several of them. We will have 10 minutes for that, but before we start, we will ask our partners who developed, because each game was developed by a different partner of Relica. So this was really a co-creation, a collaborative work in the consortium, and we will ask our partners to present very briefly some of the games. So I will ask Mari to start with presenting us the Rooms game.
Thank you, Christina. Good evening, everyone. I will tell you just a few words about Rooms. Rooms activity, digital activity, was born from the idea of bringing together 2 areas in which we work extensively as a cultural center, as a social cooperative, and also as a museum. And these 2 fields are art and everyday objects. We run a museum in Potenza in Italy that is called Moon, that stands for Museum of Workshop of Narrative Objects. And we have always used everyday objects as a bridge to build relationships, creating exhibitions, trainings, and museum displays. And in Relica Digital Activities, we wanted to combine these 2 areas with the opportunity to play with words and language, because play is a very serious thing for us. By using a creative linguistics exercise called portmanteau words, invented by Lewis Carroll in Alice Through Looking Glass, and another writing of Lewis Carroll, The Hunting of Snark, where this snark is a creature made out by packing together a snake and a shark. So we wanted to bring this game, this word game, together with our fields of work. And then we decided to create a museum-like map in this digital activity to invite visitors to enter into the rooms of great artist paintings. And then playing with personal belongings of these artists and create new and funny words and discover how even nonsense can make sense. So welcome to Rooms if you want to try it. And then I will give you the floor to Fotini by Artifactory in Greece. She will tell you a few words about another activity that is postcards from home.
Thank you, Mariangela. So now I will ask you to close your eyes for a second, to think of a place that feels like home. What do you see? What do you hear? What would you put on a postcard? Postcards from Home is a language learning game that has developed within the RELICA Erasmus project, but it's also a platform where you can log in and continue this activity. It invites learners to describe their home, their culture, their memories, their everyday life through the metaphor of a postcard. You look at the images and you listen, you read, you write, and step by step, you build the language you need to talk about where you come from in a new language with confidence. It's a simple visual and deeply personal game because home is something everyone understands, even before they know the words. So it was designed for adult learners, migrants, refugees, and people in a second chance education who are learning a new language while navigating in a new life. Language learning works best when it starts with something real and meaningful. So a postcard from home is not just an image, it's an identity, a story, a starting point for a conversation. In a few moments, you'll have the chance to explore the games yourself. Would love to hear what you felt and what you'd put on the postcard. And I will give the floor to my colleague, Piotr. Thank you.
Thank you, Fotini. Guys, I'm pleased to tell you a few things about our game. I won't explain the game itself because if I had to do, it would mean that it was, let's say, badly designed. Instead, I will talk about the challenges we face it and, let's say, our approach. As a Digital Creators Foundation, we want to create a short game that it's simple to play, but also, let's say, opens the door to conversation. Like Fotini said, some starting points for conversation, for the conversation. The idea behind the Dust, Detect, Discover is quite, let's say, straightforward. Players enter a fictional archive or, let's say, museum storeroom full of old artworks. The objects are abandoned or maybe a bit dusty. Some of them look authentic, but in fact they are, let's say, forgeries. The task is to clean the dust, look carefully, and find the clues, small modern objects or maybe details that should not be there. Exactly. So we decided to build the game around the art because the art is universal language. Even when people do not speak the same language very well, they can still look at the image, point the object, describe people, notice emotions, tell stories. And that makes art a very national starting point for language learning and of course for discussion. At the same time, we want to connect the game with the countries of the RELICA partnership, 6 countries. So each mission is inspired by a different artistic or, let's say, cultural context. We start with Italian Renaissance, then move to the scenes inspired from France, Greece, Poland, Germany, and Hungary. We create the images. To create the images, we have used generative AI, and this was both, let's say, exciting and challenging. The Italian Renaissance, as you can see right now, that kind of scene worked very well, and there was no problem. But other styles were more difficult for us. For example, German expressionist, that scene was, at the first look, it was very schematic and not expressive enough, let's say. So we have to test, adjust our prompts, regenerate images, and of course, accept some compromises. This was a useful lesson for us. Generative AI can be a powerful creative tool for us, for educators, but it does not remove the need of, I don't know, human judgment, editing, and of course, some kind of instructional or educational design. So the game includes 6 missions with 3 hidden artifacts in each image. So in a short session, the player can discover 18 objects, but each object is much more than just, I don't know, vocabulary item. It can become a beginning of discussion, like I said. What is it? Where is it? Why does it not fit, for example? Who is standing nearby? What are the people doing? What may to be thinking? What could happen next, etc., etc. So yes, this can work as a simple self-paced, let's say, educational game, but we believe it becomes much richer when teacher or, I don't know, moderator is nearby. That's that's for me. Thank you very much. And Kata, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you. So just a couple of words about the fourth game that you see on this slide, the 16 one. So this is called the Intruder game. It's a card game that was explicitly developed for this project. So it's a physical card game, out of which we developed several digital versions. And in this one, you can explore, I just go quickly to the parts where you have to associate sentences to pictures, to images. The images were inspired by different artworks coming from different eras and different cultures. And here in this interactive and online version, the cards were also integrated, so you can each time play it mainly in the language you're learning, but you have this assistance of having the sentences and the words represented by the images in 12 languages. And the end of each 3 slide, this association exercise is inversed. So you have a small animation where, on the contrary, you have to choose one sentence that fits the best the animation you see, just to review the vocabulary. So now, yes, now you will have 10 minutes of independent work. So now it's 40, and we'll meet at
50, 5:50.
But we are still here, so you can ask questions and write anything in the chat. So feel free to test any of these sample games, this collection. And see you in 10 minutes.
Okay, welcome everybody. I hope you had a nice playing moment. Sorry that it was not maybe long enough, but of course you will have the occasion to test all the games. We would like to ask you a little feedback in the following 2 slides about your gaming session. And the first is, please put here which games did you test. Just select the ones that you tested and let's see which were the more favorite, the more popular ones. So you have still a couple of seconds to show us which were the ones that you tested. And then Kata will show us the comparison of the overall picture. Can you show us which were the more liked ones? Okay, so Mosaic City was the one that the most of you tested, and then the postcards, and then Piotr Detect does Discover, and Rooms, and then the Five Senses of Art, The Intruder, and were the last ones. So the most, maybe the most appealing name, or the most interesting, looking interesting, was the Mosaic City. Okay, thank you very much for this feedback. Of course, there are not so many big differences between these numbers. And we would also like you to give us a little, very short feedback for now. On the next slide. Yeah. Just we would like to ask you to give here really a short word or 2 words, so just very, very brief feedback about your feeling, your experience with the gaming. Was it fun? Was it boring? Was it useful? Was it easy? Was it difficult? Or if you have other ideas that you could suggest us. Of course, you have no time now to give long sentences, just some short words or expressions. You have still a couple of minutes, 20 seconds, sorry, not minutes, to give your feedback. Great. So let's see, we can also have a little look on the type of feedbacks you got. There were some people really writing longer text, and of course we will have the time to read them, but I see that many of you found it fun, useful, enjoyable, curious, interesting, good for adapting, educated, public. There are some spelling mistakes. Yes, it's also something that we have to check out. Yeah, so I see that there were rather positive experiences, and this is a very good news. We hoped so, actually. In the later, after the event, we will share with you, of course, this presentation. You can also find the other games, as Kata will explain, on the website, but you will also receive a little questionnaire, so we will ask you to give us more detailed feedback, of course. And also, when you have any spelling mistake or other mistakes, you can also share this on the chat or on these questionnaires. And thank you also for your feedbacks on the chat, which are also very positive. But now I will give the floor to Kata, and she will give us a presentation about the other results and aspects of the project.
Yes, thank you. So you see these interactive games that we tested, it's just one little part of the project, because it also we also created 2 handbooks within it and an interactive platform. So you can discover on the website the 2 handbooks. The first handbook is basically based on the first part of the project that we implemented. So it contains the background research on the institutional framework and also the results of a couple of interviews that we made with trainers, facilitators, also learners and volunteers to better understand their needs. We also implemented a couple of art-based workshops where we observed the needs and the reactions of learners who could not, because of their low language skills, could not really express their needs in a linguistic way. And this first handbook contains also a collection of 22 good practices in visual arts that can be adapted to language education. that we analyzed and we proposed some uses. And the handbook too, it contains the whole methodology with several recommendations and ideas for teachers and facilitators. All the 18 art-based workshop activities that we co-designed during these 3 years. And of course, many complementary resources that you can all discover on the platform. So the complementary resources basically are video tutorials. We have 7, and these interactive games, because what we did not really explain, that all the interactive games that we created are based on the creative activities that we implemented. So they are, let's say, the digital versions of these creative activities. So here we integrated the handbook part 1 already, so you can just go through it, but later on you can download it also from the website. Here you can see the content, the background research, the interviews results, the collection, which is the good practices, basically, and the art-based workshops that we implemented. So just to see an insight, if you are, I don't know if you're following the presentation on the shared screen or yourself, you can navigate through the pages. We are on page or slide 20. Sorry, I didn't mention it before. On the slide 21, you can also go through the handbook part 2. So here you can see that the first part of the handbook contains the methodology description, and then some explanation about our approach that I also mentioned briefly at the beginning. And then you have all the 18 activities that we co-designed. So just to give you a short, for instance, with audio-visual storytelling, you can check out for what size of group it is designed for, what you can learn. And again, you have the related resources. So here you have links for the video tutorials and to the interactive online games that are linked to this specific activity. So please don't hesitate to explore these handbooks. And the other important result of this project is the platform itself. So from the platform, you have, of course, access to all these resources. To do this, you have to sign up. Okay, I'm not on the sign up, so you should sign up. So first, you arrive to, sorry, I log out just to show you. So you need to sign up to the website to have access to all the resources, the games, the downloadable manuals or handbooks. So the important thing is to put your email, password, and confirm the password, name, and the other things are optional. So once you did it, you can sign in easily. And once it's done, so you can check out the resources. I don't know why I'm lost. What happened? I will try to refresh, sorry. There's a technical bug, sorry. Okay, I will show you it from here, never mind. So once you are in the resources page, so you have access. I'm very sorry. I think there's a bug. I don't know why. Maybe Piotr can. I don't know if you know. Okay, never mind. If there's a mistake, we will correct it later on after the meeting. I will go to the other functionalities of the website. So, but from the resources page, you will have access to the 2 handbooks, to the activity descriptions, and you have also small, short activity sheets that you can download and then can be easily used during your workshops. You can watch the 7 video tutorials. It still doesn't work. So maybe this I could show you on YouTube.
Let's explore the city through an interactive bingo game.
So I won't show you the whole tutorial, but we have 7 of these, and I don't know if you're familiar with YouTube, but you can also in settings you can choose to have the subtitles in your own language. So it's automatic. It's not the most perfect one, but if your learners or yourself are not that familiar with English, it's not a problem. You can have the tutorials with subtitles. And finally, the 18 interactive online games that you can play in 7 languages. So this 8 one, the selection was only a little selection to show you. And also on the website, you have the community page. So now the community page, it works. So here you can discover the partners' profiles, as well as other users, and you can share your ideas, practices, questions, and you can get in touch directly with us as well. You yourself can feed this discussion and add the links and create content. Let's go to the resources. It works now. Well, thank you, Piotr. I think you corrected something. So this is what I wanted to show you previously. So we are on the resources page. Here you have the activities. You see the 18 activities that we implemented. So you have the description with some illustrations, and you also have a downloadable description of the activity for each one. Sorry. Then you have the tutorials. See the 7 tutorials, so you click on it and you can visualize it directly on the website or watch it on YouTube. You have the handbooks. So the handbook 1, as I showed you, and the handbook 2. These are interactive versions in which you can click on certain contents, but we will also, once we make a last verification, you also have the downloadable versions of these handbooks. And at the end, you have also the access to all the interactive activities in the resources page. And you click on any of them, so there are 18. You can see that you have links for each language. So you have the Polish version of this game, for instance. And we thank you for your attention. So this part this presentation part is officially closed, but we are still staying here, so we want to open a question and answer part. So if you have any questions, just do not hesitate. You can raise your hands and or write in the chat, and we can answer you. For those who are leaving, we just wanted to thank you again and to tell you that that everything that we shared with you, so we will share with you this presentation. Of course, please sign up on the RELICA website to have access to these tools. And the small questionnaire will be sent to you as well afterwards, in which we will probably also ask you if you are thinking to use all these tools and resources within your education or your learning process if you are learning a language. Yes, so we are waiting for your questions. You can just also turn on now your micro if you have any.
Yeah, if you have any questions, any comments, if you want to just chat with us a bit, we are here. And for all those who have to leave, thank you so much for being with us and watching this and interactively participating in this event. And as Kata said, we will send you all the information and the questionnaire to evaluate it and also to evaluate or provide your feedbacks about the games. Thank you also for your comments on the chat.
No questions? It was so clear. There's no question. Well, we can wait a couple of minutes more, so maybe something will come to your mind. So, but
There is one question on the chat. Do you have a location in Paris? And another one, can you tell me if you have already tested it with absolute beginners and how did they reacted at the beginning? Maybe any of our partners have any answers to that question. Because we had tested the games and the activities in several contexts. Every partner tested it on the local level. So please give your feedbacks to this question.
Yes,
Dear
Christina.
Rocco, yes, I tested it with one person who is currently learning German and is a very, very beginner. And they did experience some difficulties and they were asking for some help button in English so that they could, anytime they would need, check out the English translation without having to translate the page into English and stay with the German. So this is something that we value a lot as feedback, and we will see if we can actually implement that as well. But we would be very happy if you could actually do the test also with absolute beginners and give us a feedback on your experience. The more the merrier.
Yeah, thank you. Other partners, yeah.
yes, I would like to add that the games are, if you use it as a language teacher, they can be supports, and of course, many of the games you will not use it only as an individual in an individual way. So when you use it in a classroom, you can choose which parts of the games you can you can use with complete beginners, but some of the activities are completely adapted for complete beginners, but not all of them, I suppose. Maybe Mari, you also had some experience with this.
Yes, I just wanted to add that we tested some of the activities with the very beginners, not only to develop linguistic skills, but mostly to enhance social skills. So the possibility to interact to each other, interact together and try a little bit to express themselves. So it can be very useful also for very, very beginners. We tested for the Italian version in a group of migrants that were just arrived in Italy, so no clue about the Italian language. And it was very successful with some of the activities, of course.
Yes, and to answer the other question, if you have any location in Paris, so as we mentioned, we were 6 partner organizations within project, and it was coordinated by COTA, which is effectively we are based in Paris. But we are not a language school, we are an association working on diverse projects. So we don't have a locality, the association have a locality, but which I can, of course, share with you if you're interested, and we can get in contact, but it is not a locality of a language school, if this is what you meant.
Thank you for these questions, and maybe you can also share, if you want, with us any of your experiences about teaching language, if you teach language, or issues or challenges, or if you have an idea how you could use these, what you saw, how you could use the results of these projects, that, as you've seen it so far, of course. So if anyone feels like intervening, if you cannot do it in English, then we can also use translation, or you can also put it in the chat. Kata, you need to unmute yourself.
No, I was sorry. I was saying that if you don't have any more questions, you will also have the contact address. Thank you for the events. These games appeal to a wider audience, not just people learning a foreign language, as they are engaging and thought-provoking. Yes, exactly. This is why I try to put the accent on the fact that they also develop different soft skills, not only language skills, because these things must be developed together. Thank you for your comments. It's very encouraging. And so if right now you don't have questions, maybe you will have later on, but you will have our email address and contact on the website and within the presentation. And any of our partners want to add something to close this session?
That we are available for any other information people want to ask us. So don't hesitate to contact us, because RELICA is now in the most important moment for the dissemination of the results. So thank you to everyone for participating.
Well, thank you so much then, and hopefully we'll meet in a way or another. Thank you, and have a very nice evening.
Thank you also.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.